best man, for those of you who do know me. I'd like to first start by thanking you all for being part of this great day, and for me personally, I've had a great honour and subsequent horror of having to prepare a speech for you all. No pressure at all then. I would especially like to welcome those who've travelled from a foreign country to be here for this momentous occasion, being Mr. and Mrs. Innes all the way from Bucky. It's been a pleasure to meet you at long last. Now normally I can talk for England, but on this occasion while sat at the PC searching for inspiration, the usual babble didn't seem to flow so easily. I did come across various interesting pieces during my research, but couldn't use any of these as they didn't contain the names Fran or Will. Thanks also goes to the bridesmaids, who I think you all agree look very stunning today.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
And they've done their best to spoil Fran today in helping her get ready. And I do believe traditionally at a wedding it's usually customary for the best man and the maid of honour to get together sometime. It's you, Ellen. Does a wedding count as an anniversary or birthday like usual? Fran, you look absolutely divine, and Will is indeed a very lucky man. I hope you both enjoy this day as long as you live. And now it's time to relax and enjoy, eat, drink and be merry. Will, you really are one of the luckiest guys in this room, and it's great to see you not wearing those dark tan desert boots for a change. Okay, so to speak. Right, where do I start then? During my research it says traditionally I'm supposed to sing all Will's praises and tell you about his good points. Well, I'm sorry Will, but I can't sing and I'm not going to lie. So our first inkling that Fran might have a new chat was towards the end of 2004, 10 years ago now, when Ellen came back from the shop and said, "You'll never guess what I've just seen. Fran with a fella who was talking like a bit strange, like he was drunk or something." I must point out at this moment we had no idea that she'd be fraternising with someone from one of those tribes over the border. Then it must have come as even more of a surprise when on the morning after Ellen called round to see Fran and went barging into her bedroom and stood on a watch that was laying on the floor by the bedside. Except that it wasn't a lady's watch at all. Oh no, there was someone else in the room. Although during the shock of the moment and details are a little sketchy, there was also a mention of a tam o' shanter and a sporran hung over the bedpost. And there was a web page left open on Fran's PC which read www.richscotshusband.com. As I said, the last account cannot be verified, but nevertheless there was a bloke in Fran's bedroom and hiding under the covers, which of course turned out to be Will. Now, although they've been together for 10 years, we've all actually only really known him for 5 due to the fact that his job takes him away a month at a time. So I'm really going to have to find some struggle to get some embarrassing stories about him. Our first real introduction was Christmas time 2004 when Fran brought him round to show him off. And we all thought he was a deaf mute due to the fact he didn't actually talk to anyone. For the first year he was just sussing us out, his new tribe out, so to speak. What was he letting himself in for? So the same day, he then went to see one of Fran's sisters, which is Pam and her husband Darren, over there. Hiya, Pam.
Hiya.
Bless her. Now, where Pam lived is rather posh, and during the Christmas period, many houses on the street would put lots and lots of fairy lights around their houses. And some neighbours see this as a bit of a competition. It's great to see gyros being spent on such a good cause at Christmas time. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Will just got up. I think they might have been partying the night before, so they were a little worse for wear. So Will was greeted warmly to the sight of Darren on the phone to his good friend Andy Carlin in the house right opposite, where they could both see each other through the window amongst all the Christmas lights, to Darren saying, "Carly, your lights are shit." So slowly, from one month to one month, we started to see more of Will, firstly going out for oatmeal, which was noted he used to drive a Citroen with a Scottish flag on the back. And of course the word Ecos written underneath, so I casually inquired as to the meaning of this word. The word Scotland written in French. "Is this because you hate the English and would rather it written in French?" I asked. He simply replied, aye. So it may have took him a while to adopt his new surroundings, but slowly we got to know this new Scotsman who found had been hiding away, and you know, we actually quite liked him. But he needn't worry about being disappointed with his newly adopted football team either, because as with Scotland, even two are shite. From that point on his returns to shore, the month would usually involve one or two get-togethers, either cooking a meal for his family or we might go out for a curry. At one particular time, we all got the bus into town to call at the Crickets for a pint before heading off for a curry. As we all descended the bus and started to walk between the inside of the stop and the bus itself, we heard a loud crack and a groan. Turned round to see Will clutching his head. Turned out the wind mirror had clobbered him and the bus was driving off. And it was at that point that Frank shouted, "Will, what are you doing, you bloody idiot? It's not his fault they're eating." Will's a fondness for great food and wine like myself, so one of us might cook a meal, which more likely would involve some kind of very hot chilies, and we both enjoy fiery food. This usually leads quite often to watering eyes, red faces, coughing fits, and the next day the ring of fire. Will tends to get caught out eating a particular fierce piece of chili, claiming, "Oh, must be the hottest bit," as he winces around in pain trying to recompose himself. "Yeah, they're all saying that hot, mate. Whatever, it's like that." And so to the subject of marriage. And once he'd asked Fran to marry him, which trusted esteemed person could he bestow the honour of being a best man to? Then it occurred to me that in reality he hadn't really got any friends around here. So all his mates live in Scotland, and they're either offshore or away, so he had no choice but to ask me. Of course I would thrill to be asked, and it's a pleasure to be here standing now sweating in front of your lovely friends and family. When Ellen and myself get married, I'll gladly return the favour, mate. When Ellen and myself get married. So to the stag. Will's final jaunt away with the boys before Fran has him chained to the sink and his knackers hung up behind the bedroom door. Where should we go? Who will be with us? Well, the second question was easier to answer. There will be two of us. Two of us on a stag? No way. So after careful consideration, rather than the usual stag shenanigans, and it was to be only Will and his bestie, we decided upon a fine dining weekend in our London town, and what a fab time we had. No one got hammered, lots of quality food was eaten, through Michelin star restaurants after visiting the sites of his newly adopted homeland, and even a trip to the theatre where I did see him tapping his foot. It was a great time and just made me realise how much he loved Fran when after our afternoon tea at Harrods, before we were off to see the matinee of The Commitments, we searched and found a Tiffany shop so he could buy her a charm. Of course this meant I had to buy Ellen a gift as well. Cheers, mate. So, two blokes spending a fortune on food and enjoying the sights of London. We might have given the impression that we might have looked a bit gay. Until someone asked me, "Is that your dad?" I think it's all that North Sea air that gives him that unique sea-weathered face akin to a dinosaur scrotum. Must have come as even more of a surprise to some of such an extravagant stag do, especially some of the fine dining establishments that we visit, that these two northerners, because as the saying goes, there's only one man tighter than a Scotsman, and that's a Yorkshireman. Will narrowly avoided us getting into a fight on the underground with a Polish pimp and his dwarven beauty. As they pushed past us to get on the escalator, Will said, "Oh, Tyrion Lannister." For those who aren't aware who he is, he's a dwarven character in Game of Thrones. A fierce staring battle broke out between Will and the pimp, but luckily he's still got his polished dentures intact. So, that just about wraps up my part for the day, except to say that whenever Will is at home, he'll always go out of his way to play with Harry and Sam, our two sons, and they love to be around him as his Scottish charm shines through on all the sweets and cash he keeps them. He'll always be there to collect Harry from school if he's available and take him to the park for a kick about with the football. That's if Fran hasn't got him chauffeuring around or ironing and making tea, etc. For better or worse, they say, "Well, Will, you certainly couldn't have done any better, and Fran, you couldn't have done any worse." I I've been Jason, the best man. You've all been a cracking audience, and I thank you very much. So if you'd all raise your glasses and toast the bride and groom, Fran and Will.
Fran and Will! Yay!
Thank you very much.